In this video, I want to talk about the testing phase of design and especially how it applies to education. So you can see here in this graphic, the Stanford design model is broken into 5 parts. The last phase is the testing phase, and it's where you're going to take your prototypes, you're going to test them with your users, and you're going to try and get feedback so that you can kind of start to iterate on your prototypes and eventually end up with a polished product. What you hope to get in this phase is good quality, honest feedback. You hope that you can squash bugs, little things that you didn't notice when you were creating the prototype. You want to get rid of kind of bad ideas that maybe seemed good at the beginning, but your users will hopefully point out the bad ideas that can be improved on. And then you really want to find the good stuff and build on that. So to catch you up on my problem, I'm looking at how teachers being strapped for time hurts student learning. And so this problem is going to be addressed in 2 ways. First is infographics that make the argument visually that the lack of time in education for educators is problematic and hurts students. And then also the second part is a menu of different ways that we can help teachers save time right now. Some of it's tech-based, some of it isn't, but it's basically a lot of ideas that hopefully teachers and administrators can implement quickly to help them save time. So my process for testing was to get a couple of my close colleagues into my classroom and give them my prototypes, explain to them my problem, the thinking behind the designs that I came up with, and then ask them for feedback. I took notes like crazy during this session, and we really had quality conversations about how my prototypes could be improved. I think without this session, my prototypes and my final product really would have been a lot weaker. So I wanted to finally just kind of note how this testing phase is really a risk for a lot of people. You're putting your creative work out there for constructive feedback, and that can be really hard. So I think especially in education, we're risk averse. We quite often want to keep our ideas, our activities locked kind of within the 4 walls of our classroom where they kind of feel safe. But especially in my example here, if I had stopped the prototype phase and ended my design without testing it, I would have really had a worse product at the end. They really point out some glaring holes that I would have missed. If I don't have the time to test every idea and every activity that we come up with as educators, but I think the more that we test, the more that we get feedback from each other, the more we kind of go through this phase, the stronger our culture of creativity and risk-taking can become. I think that can only lead to more quality innovation.